Hey, thanks for watching the Trenny and C Scotch playlist. Oh, you're not watching the playlist? Well, you probably should be. Go back and watch the playlist. Anyway, we've got the Balvenie 14-year-old Caribbean cask today. Why don't you stick around to find out what makes it so special?
Just watch this shitty song first.
Drinking whiskey, describing all the flavors for you and me. Irish, Scotch, bourbon, and rye. If they like a bottle, they'll tell you why.
All right, the Balvenie 14-year-old Caribbean cask single malt Scotch whiskey.
Yeah, from the Speyside region of Scotland. It is a fantastic dram. I'm personally just a fan of Balvenie, all their products so far anyways. And it just looks so cool.
Is that because they bought your love with these free whiskey stones?
Yes, I'm sure the free is built into the price, but at the same time, it does come with some whiskey stones, which is kind of cool. Haven't opened it up, but whatever. It also, actually, this one, I don't have it now, but it came with a code for a subscription to a whiskey magazine, so you're getting a little couple extras. Kind of cool.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, so the Balvenie 14-year-old Caribbean cask is bottled at 43%. It says Caribbean cask, which can only be assumed that it's aged in a rum barrel. So obviously, as you guys know, we do our reviews based on the color, the nose, the taste, the finish, and the viscosity. So right away, starting with the color, it's kind of like I don't even know what you would call this.
You would call it
Copper.
Polished copper.
Polished copper.
Because that's what I called it.
Shiny new penny.
Right? Yeah.
Cool. Fair enough. I don't know, whatever. It looks like there's been some rum in there.
Yeah.
You know?
You can see the rum influence for sure.
So
Nose it up.
Yeah, nose it up. I love the Balvenie nose. It does have a classic Balvenie nose. They did have the Balvenie 12-year-old signature for years, and then it was discontinued, and that was one of my favorites. Personally, I liked it better than the double wood that they released kind of afterwards, but that's just my humble opinion.
Okay.
So, but on this nose...
Now that you're done with your rant...
Yeah, we can talk about the real thing.
I'm getting pear, strong pear, and peach, and almost to the point of, like, it reminds me of like a really nice jam when you pop the lid on it. You pop some jam open and woo, you get that nice that flavor right out of there. Like with that almost like you can smell the seeds.
Like fresh fruit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Like a pureed fruit to it.
Which is funny because I would almost assume this was put in a bourbon barrel, but it's obviously not. It's a Caribbean cask. So I get this, funny enough, this slight absinthe note on the nose, which usually kind of is like a black licorice thing, but it's not strong at all. But there's this undercurrent of absinthe in there. I can
see where that's coming from. I also have like, this is gonna sound kind of corny, but I put sugar plum.
No, that works because
like a cinnamon and sugar plum. It has this holiday feel.
You're getting Christmas notes on there. Yeah, totally. I wrote. So
you didn't write sugar plum.
No, but it's funny because we don't compare notes when we do these things. So you're writing Christmas. Yeah. I wrote springtime lilac.
Okay.
So we're in different seasons here.
All year round.
Yeah, it's an all year round dram. Like you can pour a Balvenie any time of the season. Also with that, and this kind of goes with the tasting note, so I will start with tasting, is it does remind me of like a lemon loaf. Like there is this kind of bakery taste and smell to it. A little bit, what would you call that? Doughy.
So, and again, this is where things get a bit weird. Is that I wrote, and again, it sounds weird, but if you taste it, I put Fig Newton. Like, again, it's back to that jammy flavor, because like a Fig Newton has that kind of figgy jammy center,
Yeah.
and then
And the biscuit.
it has that biscuity kind of thing around it. I mean, it's in there.
Nice.
You can taste it.
There's also this very slight smoke to it. So, like Scotch always has this kind of typical damp earth kind of taste to it, it does have a slight smoke to it.
Yeah, it is slight, and I have like a baked apple, like a baked cinnamon apple, and again I'm back to pear, so I'm getting there's these tree fruits in here big time.
So one thing I did notice though, for me, I got a little bit of heat off of the taste, and it's not bottled that high. It's only 43%. And the thing that's interesting about that heat is it's also aged for 14 years, which you would think would kind of even it out and mellow it out. So it could just be my palate, but I did get a little bit of heat the first couple times I tried this one.
Tiny leather to it as well. Look, there's a little bit of leather
that
flavor
comes with
in
that
there.
smoke, but it definitely has that honey and sugar baked goods thing going on.
And a bit of that has to be coming from the rum influence too, right?
Yeah. I mean, the sugar definitely has to have that rum influence. So I did tour the Balvenie distillery, and it is really, really, really cool because it's first of all, it's owned by William Grant and Sons, so it's right beside the Glenfiddich distillery. It's basically on the same property, and this place, the Balvenie distillery, is really cool because they use old techniques from probably when it was first built in 1892. Just reading the back of the bottle.
We get all our facts from the back of the bottle.
Yeah, just buy a bottle.
Yeah, we're just telling you what's on the back of the
But
bottle.
it's cool because they do all their own hand turning of the malted barley. They do smoke their barley with a little bit of peat, but usually just the wood. And the whole process there's no technology involved. I think they write it all pen and paper still. So, it's not a paper-free zone or anything like that.
Okay.
But they've
They make
obviously
good whiskey, so who cares?
Yeah, they've put out a good product for many years.
Yeah, so we're on to the finish here, and another kind of tasting note that I got is that I got on the finish, I got this memory of hot toddy, which is kind of interesting because normally I make a hot toddy with lemon, honey,
All those are in here.
Yep, and like a spiced rum, right?
Yep.
Like maybe like a Captain Morgan or some kind of spiced rum.
Interesting.
So it gave me this hot toddy kind of a feel to it, which makes sense.
Yeah. We're gonna have to make a hot toddy
episode.
for our cocktails, even though it's more of a like when you're feeling sick.
Yeah,
But whatever.
you got to know how to make it,
Yeah.
and it has a sharpness to the finish too. I felt like
That's where I was talking about with that heat. It's a little bit. It's not as smooth as you would expect. And again, that word smooth, but it's not as even feeling as you would expect for something that's been in a cask for 14 years. Just my opinion.
And this is what kind of price range are we talking here?
So
Canadian.
this guy in British Columbia costs $116, $116. So it's relatively high priced. But at the same time, at one point, this was marketed as something that wasn't going to be around for very much longer.
Okay.
So they kind of duped us there.
It's a bit of a limited kind of idea.
But they got me sold, and it came with these cool little stones. So why not?
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
no buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
So viscosity.
Viscosity. What did I rate?
I got that it's thick. It has a bit of a linger to it in the mouth there. A little bit of a heavy mouthfeel.
I wrote like a medium to heavy syrup because it still is that Caribbean cask rum thing, and rum is very sugary and syrupy. This is not very sugary and syrupy, but it still has that viscosity of like a syrupy rum.
Overall, though, I think it is very flavorful. I'm a fan. I would buy it again. Like it.
I personally really like Balvenie products, and honestly, this bottle just looks so cool.
Yeah.
The kind of, it looks like a still.
Yeah.
Like the top of a still right there. Anyway.
It looks how a Scotch bottle should look.
Yeah.
Cool.
So numbers, I gave it a 26, and C gave it a 27.08, which rounded it out to 26.54, which I think, basically any Scotch or whiskey that you're rating above 24 is going to be well worth your time. That's out of 33, by the way.
Out of 33.33. So all said and done, we like the product.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy yourself some. Taste along with us. Send us a Gmail. Tell us if you're tasting what we're tasting or if you're not tasting what we're tasting. And send us what you want to see us review next.
Yeah, I mean, I'll happily review the Balvenie single barrel cask strength. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You tell us. Anyway, thanks for watching, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our really great reviews.
great.
We use the term loosely. You decide whether it's great or not. But
TrainingC.com, right there. Cheers.
Trenny and C.